Okay, pretty sure we're back live here now with, round 7 of our overall F1 series here, the Hungarian Grand Prix, live from the virtual Hungaro ring. But enough about the setup and the preamble, let's just go right into the commentary. So, as you can see, we're both on the screen as we're watching everything. Oh, God's sakes, I'm disconnected apparently. So...
And my light's not on.
Okay. Well, we are
now
just...
it is.
We're just a comedy of errors here tonight. So, let's go ahead and try and get back in. Okay, so...
This is definitely a technological advancement versus the last week, or two weeks ago. Whatever.
I don't even know if it is, honestly.
Me neither.
Okay, so let's just see if it'll actually let me back in. Well, it said join session, so that's encouraging. Alright, we'll just see how long this lasts here, as this will be another race that's in the mid-30s, because somehow we ended up with our 2 shortest tracks of the series in one night.
I mean, I suppose that's good for those that are in the Eastern time zones, of course.
Yep. As we will... Well, I'm going to go backwards here again just to get my spectator menu back up. That way we can provide the full experience. It looks like we've got yellows in sectors 2 and 3, possibly someone just coming into pit lane at the end of the lap. Okay, so let's just see. Yeah, we'll get the full track map up. And, okay, so I think we're back up and running here. So yeah, that's what we'll go ahead and do. I think we're all set in terms of seeing a time, or at least trying to. Mason Pope, as you can see, in pit lane. Looks like... Who do we actually have on track right now? So, Ty Higginbotham's on track. So let's go to him as he completes a lap. And I can't imagine... Yeah, something a little bit off with the timing here. There has to be. Sort this out. Good old EA and stuff, I think. As again, we see Corbin McCauley on provisional pole. 1 minute 17.895 his time. God damn it.
Gosh.
Okay, yeah, no, I couldn't hide that one. But I can try and vamp a little bit with a quick overview of the Hungaro ring. So while we've got a couple minutes, which it seems like we do, again, let's go ahead and take a look at the track. Again, another relatively short one here at, just a little over 4 kilometers. Let me just get the exact number. 4.381 kilometers. So, yeah, a little bit of a unique layout here. 14 turns, as you can see, and 2 DRS zones basically right at the beginning of the lap, the start finish straight, and then between turns 1 and 2. So I mean, if you want to get the job done, it seems like that'd be where to go, Reeves.
Well, yes, this is one of the shortest tracks on the calendar, but at the same time, though, in saying short, its corners are incredibly tight almost everywhere. Like, if you want to go side by side, you can try on those little small length straightaways that do happen to exist around some areas of the track. Like, you do have some opportunities, like you can see the car going down the hill. That is a perfect opportunity to try and get it before you kind of take that little bit of a quick loop right there. Hopefully not go wide and then go around the wide corner right there. But yeah, if you're going side by side in any of those tight corners, then someone's got to give, or else shenanigans are going to happen. It wouldn't be surprising if we'll see shenanigans on the very start when the lights on the way to go happens. Of course, a relation we can have is, I believe, in I don't know if it was 2020 or 2021, I can't recall fully, where Esteban Ocon went on to win the Hungarian Grand Prix, but on that first lap when the rain happened to struck very early on, Valtteri Bottas did kind of a bit of a bad with his brakes, and he and a lot of other drivers ended up getting collected in a bit of an incident, so that first corner is definitely going to be somewhere where we have to pay a lot of attention to when the start happens, and as the racing goes on, it's just going to be a matter of how close everyone's going to be, especially in how many tight corners there are around such a short track. And personally, this is one of my favorite tracks too. I love the action that happens for the Hungaroring. I believe that's how you say it,
Yeah.
please. So yeah, I can only imagine with how much action we saw with Austria just earlier tonight. I can only hope that for another short track that we're getting here, short track in a way, don't try and confuse with NASCAR fans that might be watching. Yeah, hopefully we get another action-packed race here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, again, we only saw half of Austria, but we saw plenty in that time. And we should get, some decent racing here as well, as we see Ivan Reynolds crawling around that final corner. And on the start-finish straight. And close up time of 1:20.097. And apparently his time decided to keep going, so I think I still have some maybe connection things going on. We'll have to see. At any rate, again, it looks like we're on board with Roman Furchi right now. And notable on Furchi, we introduced him as a North Corner driver a couple weeks ago. He's since made the move over to Red Dirt Racing with Zach Sullivan having to kind of give up the place, but having to bow out. So Furchi heads over to join Corbin McCauley in the Red Dirt colors.
That's definitely a very interesting move there for sure, especially considering we're now practically halfway through the season. How do you say it again? Furchi?
I think it's Furchi, yeah.
Okay, Furchi, yeah. That does suck that we won't be able to get Zach Sullivan here, unfortunately. I assume that's going to be the case. But yeah, Furchi coming in as a new teammate for McCauley. He's definitely not going to be anywhere near going for a championship, but he will definitely try to see success regardless and going for wins and trying to help out McCauley, who, despite finishing 6th while Darcy Thornton was tied with after the British Grand Prix, now it looks like Darcy Ford is going to be the points there by a far margin. McCauley still might be close, so Furchi might try to be kind of like, it's kind of like Verstappen and Perez, except there may not be as much controversy with this tandem, so Furchi might try to definitely be Furchi might definitely try to be a good teammate to McCauley and helping him go for the championship. But at the same time, though, again, he might end up trying to go for wins, good finishes himself. So yeah, that's all I can really say there. Definitely an unexpected move from what I've seen. So again, yeah, McCauley might definitely now be able to get some active help in his run for the title.
And I mean, there's something to be said for that as well, as we see. Well, let's just go ahead and try and bring it right onto my PlayStation feed instead of just watching OBS here. Maybe that'll make a bit of a difference in what I can do. So, yeah, as we say, 3.5 minutes left now in qualifying. Mason Pope coming around the last corner, trying to snag pole. Not quite there. That wasn't his best time, it didn't look like. As, again, we're trying to sort out clearly some technical issues here, whether it's my side or whether it's something to do with the game. Clearly things aren't lining up the way they're supposed to be. Although I'm sure Corbin McCauley won't object to that, as we'll try and get a clean view of this hot lap with 3 minutes left to go, and for some reason it's already saying invalidated, so I think we're gonna just go ahead and get away from that. And we'll see if if Darcy Ford can do anything. Again, a race winner earlier tonight for Atlantic Motorsports, and maybe we're not going to do anything about that right just yet. Unbelievable, folks. And you know what letters appear in unbelievable a lot? E and A.
I am acting very unprofessional with that laughter, but I mean, I don't blame you. I'm not an expert with how companies work and such and how they purchase each other and all that, but
Yeah.
I'll keep saying it. Why did Codemasters allow EA to get involved? Because all they were going to do is just ask for money. Basically.
Pretty much. Yeah, definitely not the way that we wanted to have this presentation go. As again, it looks like we're still trying to connect with online services here. It's funny, I guess we weren't trying to connect through the game earlier. We were watching various streams, so that explains why things worked earlier. But
I mean,
yeah,
we have to go with the driver perspective.
No, go ahead.
Sorry, if we have to go with the driver perspectives again, then I mean, at least we have something. We have had success in being able to do that, and is that a bad error that I saw there, or are you all good?
Well, we'll find out soon enough, won't we?
Oh my.
But
I mean, if we get something, that's what matters. But of course, it would be best to have the best, which is not really the best.
yeah, so what we'll do in the meantime, we will go to that aforementioned drive review with 45 seconds to go in qualifying here. Corbin McCauley continues to hold the lead. Mason Pope in second, Darcy Ford third, Jason Butler fourth. Michael Dimitrov rounds out the top five as McCauley ducks into pit lane. See if Colby Luca has an answer here in the dying seconds, and he runs wide in the final turn, so that's not going to do it for him. How about Jason Butler now? He may have a shot at it here, potentially. A couple tenths back, going through sector 2. So, final sector here as the clock ticks down. 3, 2, 1, and checkered flags out. So, let's see if Butler has something here in this final turn. Jason Butler coming through and crosses the line. He moves up into third, but does not catch Corbin McCauley. I believe 1 minute 17.204 is the time of record here as we see that all play out. And I am just going to try.
That is going to be Corbin McCauley's third pole in 7 races.
Yeah, pretty good success rate there for the number 71.
I mean, that's pretty much been the case with Mason Pope too, who McCauley and Pope have been like terrific in qualifying, but the race results are just a freaking roller coaster. And then, yeah, Jason Butler there. Oh no, Colby Luca.
Yeah, Luca must just put that lap in at the very end here. As again, it could have been just some timing woes on our end, but yeah, it looks like that'll be McCauley and Pope on the front row. Luca and Butler row 2. Darcy Ford rounds at the top 5. Michael Dimitrov keeps him company on row 3. Ty Higginbotham will start this one in 7th. Cody Cudmore there in 8th. Michael Greathouse 9th. Dan Cudmore rounds out the top 10 in this one. Andy Hurdle and Ivan Reynolds are making up row 6 in 11th and 12th respectively. Then you have Roman Furci in 13th. Darcy Cudmore 14th. And rounding out the field will be Dan Mattiello. So, hopefully we'll be able to get a more clear-cut start to tonight's Hungarian Grand Prix as we, so I suppose it might help if I actually go into leagues within multiplayer mode as I do a reset here from my end. And let's just try and get back into the league. And yeah, this should let me rejoin here between sessions, hopefully. So in a perfect world, that'll mean we get our stuff back. As it looks like everyone's getting ready to go again. And I'm just kind of waiting to... So now, it's telling me... Well, we'll try and figure this out as we go. Oh, so it says... Okay, that's encouraging. Again, gotta love this kind of real-time... Not even troubleshooting, just, you know, figuring out what in the world is going on. Yeah, okay, so now it's saying I can join here. Again, I'll probably have to do it in spectator mode, or it'll probably make me start the race here, so to speak. And then, yeah, I'll just have to kind of crash out as Macaulay leads the field around. Oh, it's actually letting me spectate right offhand, I think. So, let's just see. Man, I hope that means I hope that doesn't mean I'm in AI. So that would be like worst case scenario here.
Or as soon as everyone lines up, you just go, whoop. You're just right there at the back.
Well, that's just it. I don't know if I can take control of the car right now. Like, it's showing me a spectator on this back end, but it's also showing my car going around. So, let's... Oh, no, it's not letting me take control. So, let's watch somebody else. Okay, so I am going to, if something happens to friggin' Dan Mattiello here, I'm going to profusely apologize, and maybe it's not because I just got disconnected. Maybe that's a blessing in disguise in terms of getting back into this session the way we're supposed to. But again, what we're seeing is Macaulay getting back to his marks. And Colby Luca doing so rapidly here as well. As the grid is reforming here. So we've got 1, 3, and 4, the starting positions for our streaming drivers. And I don't know if you saw there, we had the overlays, so I don't know how you would have seen who was DQ'd from the session, but I definitely saw it. I'm hoping for my perspective that it was myself. That way I'm not in anybody's way. So, not in anybody's way, that's Corbin Macaulay, and he gets off the line pretty good, it would appear. Colby Luca getting off the line well behind him as well. Now into turn 1. Let's just see. That was Macaulay holding on. Luca trying to get it on the inside. But Macaulay maintains the place for now.
That was a big dive there from Luca trying to get to the inside of Macaulay, but Macaulay was able to get the better advantage from, I guess, kind of the middle there, outside, whatever you want to call it. But he prevails out to the lead right now. Luca behind, Jason Butler in third, Ford fourth. So far, so good, although it did kind of look like in the rearview mirrors that there were maybe a few small shenanigans in at the back of the field. But again, so far, so good. Macaulay trying to maybe get a little bit of luck here and not have some potential exceeding limit warnings, time penalties, all that blah, blah, blah. Well, I mean, I might just jinx him right there. But, didn't Mason Pope qualify second?
He sure did. I wonder.
Yeah, that another bad start.
Well,
another one.
I can't imagine it would have been him who got the DQ, would it? Because we did see one driver get the DQ. But yeah, I'm not sure. But again, what I can tell you as we go on to lap 2 of this race, again, Corbin McCauley leads, Colby Luca second. We're riding with Jason Butler in third. So as fate would have it, our 3 streamers that we're watching are 1, 2, 3 right now. Darcy Ford in fourth. Ford, of course, won earlier tonight already. And Michael Dimitrov rounds out the top 5. And so we'll see how the rest of this race kind of progresses. And hopefully we'll be able to do it from a spectator view. But yeah, I'm getting online service errors. So that may not be happening here unless there's some kind of unknown update that has to happen that I'm not aware of. But let's just find out. But again, in the meantime, at least we're still able to watch from the actual drivers themselves. And we're on board with our race leader once again, Corbin McCauley, in the number 71 Red Dirt Racing vehicle.
I will point out here that, I had it here. Yeah, there we are. This is actually, as a matter of fact, the first time we've been to the Hungaroring since 2020, as a matter of fact, because in Season 1, go figure, Corbin McCauley won the first race, of course, the Season 1 champion, again, looking to be in the fight for his second career title. But yeah, we've only been here once. Now it's going to be twice. Will McCauley go quote-unquote back-to-back, or will the luck just go against him? We'll just have to find that out. And yeah, welcome back.
Indeed so, as he makes a miss on the track limits there, just picked up a warning for his efforts. As we'll check in on Colby Luca here in second. Gap looks like it's just over a second, so McCauley doing his job, as we had a brief caution there a moment ago. But it looks like everything's all sorted out and it's back to green flag racing. And again, hopefully we'll be able to get back in the way in which we were intended. Just kind of working that part out right now. So again, we are thankful that you've decided to bear with us here, those who actually have decided to bear with us, as we're about to begin lap 4 of 35. Oh, and it starts with a VSC, so let's just see what's going on the track.
Looks like there's a couple cars back in, looks to be about the second sector. Just leaving there, now heading into the third sector, being a little bit slow. Looks to be orange-gray symbols.
Yeah, that would translate to Alpha Flow and Silver Hornet. So geez, if 2 Cudmore brothers got tangled up.
Oh, that would be an awkward conversation at Christmas dinner.
Yeah, it just depends which one. If it's Cody, that conversation might be happening in person, but we'll see. Although, in saying that, we were wondering about Mason Pope earlier. Suddenly, he's worked his way back up to 4th.
Not bad.
So, one guy who was up there, though, was Michael Dimitrov. And he's very much not in that top 5 equation right now. And let's just see, I think I might be back here. Let's just throw that up. And yeah, we've got our... Oh my god. We can't win tonight, Riggs. As soon as I put it live, disconnected.
If only I had a spare PlayStation where I could go to the old office setup, huh?
I mean, who knows if it would have been any different there. Let's be real.
Yeah.
About that. But what I can tell you is very much real is the competition on track here, as we're back under green flag conditions on lap 5 of 35 here tonight. Corbin McCauley continues to lead.
I guess we could have a confirmation right there. It was Cody Cudmore that may have been involved there as Macaulay passes him and he goes a lap down. So definitely a Cudmore brother involved. The only question is, was it the other brother or was it Dimitrov?
Yeah, well, let's just see if... So, Dimitrov's 11th. That much I can tell ya. And again, just trying to kind of get everything live here again. But this time around, it's a little more defined error message at least. It's unable to connect to the EA servers this time, as opposed to just a straight up issue. So, okay, now it's telling me my Wi-Fi isn't here. Let's just see though. I suppose I should see if I still have a functioning stream. That would probably be a good way to go. And yeah, still getting bitrate. So, yeah, not 100% sure what's going on. Maybe I just have to reconnect it from the PS4 side of things. So, let's just try that. Okay, so meanwhile, you can continue to watch the battle between Macaulay and Luca on your screens right about now. As it looks like, and feel free to correct me if something happens while I'm not looking here, Reeves, but it looks like Macaulay remains in the lead for the time being. Okay, hopefully this will work a little bit better. Because right now, quite frankly, it can't work a whole lot worse. So yeah, for those of you just joining us, we are trying to sort out some connection issues from my PlayStation here on this side. And hopefully it'll be back in relatively short order, as it looks like I've got settings at least that I can... still saying can't connect to server, so not 100% sure what's going on here. So, oh, well, it said my online services are back. Yeah, might be back here soon enough. As again, we still are watching Colby Luca kind of in Wile E. Coyote mode here. But yeah,
another one. And Macaulay has another time penalty. What do you expect?
Well, I mean, we talk about 3 certainties in life. It seems like there's about 4 or 5 on top of death and taxes. Safety cars and time penalties definitely being part of that group. And it is a VSC, though, as we're on lap number 7 of 35, or lap 8, I should say. And again, we'll have to see how long that takes to clear up, as we try and get a sense of who that may have actually affected, as the VSC is coming to an end anyway. And so we're back to green flag racing here now. Again, Macaulay with that 3-second time penalty. That's giving Colby Luca the net lead of this race, as the gap between them on track is 1.4 seconds. And again, Macaulay, he's going to look to try and build that up, but everyone's on the medium tire, so might be hard for him to scamper away from the rest of the field. And again, hopefully we'll have everything back up and running, or somewhat back up and running, within the next lap. Fingers crossed. Okay, so it's saying that I can be a spectator, which is not so bad, because obviously that's what we want to be doing. Oh, it's actually giving me the option to take control this time, which let's go ahead and retire from the session straight away. So I hope this is not going to cause a full-on safety car. Yeah, no, I just put myself out of the race here as I log back in. That's actually better than we've gotten in previous, iterations of this. So let's try and bring it back to our race leader, Colby Luca. And if we've got this right... Okay, we're live. Let's see how long this lasts now. As Luca is, again, the net leader right now. 1.6 seconds on track separating him and Corbin McCauley overall. And, okay, so now we're able to watch as intended here. So, let's see if we can find a battle here to actually watch. How about Andy Hurdle and Darcy Cudmore battling for 8th a little bit further down as they come into the final couple corners of the lap. Oh, Hurdle, I thought he might have had a good look on the inside. Cudmore running wide. And Hurdle would have had the benefit of DRS there as well. And that's the position, and there's the 3-second time penalty for Colby Luca. So I think that would be a track limits issue as well. So, if you're Corbin McCauley here, Reeks, you get to breathe a little bit easier because you're back on level footing.
Well, yes, for sure, but at the same time, though, it's Mason Pope of all drivers there in 3rd place, so I definitely wouldn't try to relax too much. Definitely try to take as much an advantage over him as you possibly can. At the same time, though, there's still plenty of time for things to shake up. We could have other cautions, safety cars. We still have to get through pit strategies and all that, figure out the tire compounds that are going to be used. And again, Atlantic Motorsports came out on top in Austria earlier this night. You can see Darcy Ford and Ty Higginbottom there at the bottom of the top 5. They finished 1st and 2nd place respectively in Austria, so you gotta watch out here. Corbin don't tell him to relax. Do not. He's still got a lot of factors to consider here, and we have plenty of time remaining. Anything could happen, and yeah, it appears they're actually in a bit of a battle right now as Higginbottom is now taken over 4th place, and Colby Luca appears to have fallen back now to 3rd place here as Mason Pope is now going to be in 2nd place, you could say about 3 seconds behind McCauley with the time penalty. Oh no, he just got the time penalty too!
Indeed he did. So that's the top 3, all with time penalties, but if you look at the gaps there on track, you see Pope is about 6.5, give it 7 seconds behind Corbin McCauley, so that time penalty is kind of nullified, as is Pope's, with Luca being about 4.5 seconds behind. But Luca, he's very much in the striking distance of Ty Higginbotham here, so Higginbotham would be a net 3rd if the race was to end right now.
Well, I suppose McCauley can actually breathe for a little bit now in comparison to what I was trying to counteract there, what you were saying. But again, though, the pit stops could easily change things up. I remember I was talking to him in between, in the break in between Austria and the end of this race, and he said he wasn't too satisfied with his decision to pit for the intermediate tires. I mean, you can't really blame him because the rain did look pretty bad from our perspectives. Racing-wise, it didn't actually seem to be that bad, so he'll definitely have to get a little bit smarter with his pit strategy, whatever it will happen to be. Again, we could have a safety car happen, so again, yeah, he does have time to breathe right now with all the penalties and how you can see the intervals are going through, but there's still plenty of time for things to shake up. Like, don't relax. You gotta think long term, so.
Absolutely you do. As we got a yellow in Sector 1, it looks like I was about to say a Silver Hornet, but I think it's one of the 519s. Maybe Jason Butler kind of getting a little off kilter there to begin the lap coming out of turn 1. As again, we are kind of monitoring things. Meanwhile, it looks like Dan Cudmore has made a move on Roman Furchi coming through turn 2. That's down in 12th place, though, for the defending series champion. But nevertheless, it's a position. And speaking of, though, looks like Colby Luca has gotten Mason Pope back here down the start-finish straight. And is that because Pope is pitting? Yeah, I see a little black dot there in pit lane, so I would imagine that's what that's for. And indeed, there's the confirmation. Pope into pit lane, so Luca inherited the position. And let's just see. Tire choice, Pope onto the hard, so he's looking to make this a one and done. And it'll be interesting to see if he can make that last for 23 laps.
I mean, of all drivers, Mason Pope is definitely a man you could expect to get something like this done. Yeah, it is the hard tire compound. Again, the longest lasting, that is the longest lasting tire compound. So, again, trying to think long term here.
VSC though.
Oh boy, yeah, I was saying there, drivers do choose to go on the mediums later on with pitting later in comparison to what Mason Pope just did, then that might definitely shake things up. And we're definitely having things shake up here again as, yeah, another virtual safety car. But again, we still haven't gotten a full one yet. So some drivers can go off a bit scot-free here with some consistent speed a little bit. And yeah, Colby Luca now down to pit lane, Ty Higginbottom as well. And RC4 going to pit lane as well. Vitali will not go in, so far at least.
Yeah, I mean, it is only a VSC, but I mean, the pit stops, I mean, they're obviously cheaper in these conditions, so notably, all of those drivers opting for the hard as Dan Mattiello picks up a 3-second track limits penalty. Jason Butler, I should point out, picked up a 5-second penalty whenever the VSC kind of started. It was for ignoring yellow flags, so not the night that the number 28 principal of the 519E Racing team would have wanted. As we're on lap 14 of 35. Drive-through penalty to Mike Greathouse as well. He's down in 10th. That's for speeding under the VSC as we're back to green flag racing now. So lots of black and white there on your screen, certainly. Just a matter of figuring out who's got what. Again, Greathouse with the drive-through, that is damaging.
So yeah, Luca, Pope, and Higginbottom, you can see their. Oh yeah, you got the spectating. I forgot about that.
I sure do.
I should have looked over at that. Yeah, you can see there. Yeah, guys like Luca, Pope, Higginbottom, they're all on the hard tire compound, so they're definitely looking to last long. McCauley still hasn't yet, and he's on the mediums, so he'll probably end up losing a couple hundreds of a seconds, maybe a couple seconds here on the medium tire compound. So he might want to come in very soon, because those intervals are definitely gonna get a lot shorter whenever he decides to pit, and he'll hope to have a very fast pit stop. So things might shake up here at the very front, especially with those time penalties, very, very soon.
That said, he's opted for that time right now, and as a result, he's got a 29.5-second lead on track. Pit stop would be close to that, you would have to think. Maybe a few seconds less. So if McCauley can stretch those out another, say, 4 or 5 laps, he might get himself into the soft range to get himself to the end. But again, something worth noting. And right now, if he was to come in, Pope with the 6 seconds of penalties, he's got, that additional window there as well. Go ahead.
Yeah, the pit window on Macaulay's perspective right there just turned on, lap 16 to 21, so at any point he could come in. And by the looks of it, it was the hard tire compound that was recommended, so it wouldn't be surprising if he goes to choose for that. There could be the idea of the medium tire compound to see if maybe in the short term for a couple laps he could be able to gain some speed there, but of course that would take on the risk of in the long term you may end up having worse tires. So it's going to be it might be a hefty decision if he does consider possibly taking the risk, but it wouldn't be surprising if he just decides to go with hard tire compound. So we'll have to wait and see here what McCauley will do to try and finally get his first victory of the season after so many races of just an absolute roller coaster from good qualifying positions to just being given the worst luck possible in the Grand Prix.
And speaking of luck, Cody Cudmore getting another dose of bad luck with another 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane this time around. So he's already down in 15th. His night's not getting any better. We're on board with Mason Hope right now as he...
Well, Macaulay is down. Yeah, Macaulay is on the pit lane now. 2.2 second stop right there, an optimal turn in. He does go for the hard tire compound, so he does make the decision to go along with everyone else. And by the looks of it, he's pretty much kept the gap over everyone else. So yeah, hold on his note.
There's
No,
the
no,
drop.
it still looks to be a decent distance though. It's about 10 seconds, maybe about 9 now. It is slowly dropping and dropping, but again though, hopefully a big save he just made right there. But yeah, he's got the better tires than everyone else right now, so he will definitely have the advantage. But at the same time though, maybe Luke and Mason Pope are guys you gotta watch out for as we get later on in the race right.
Indeed so, and we're going to go back to that battle for second and third right about now. Back on board with Mason Hope, but a half second back of Goldie Luca right now. And yeah, they're about 8.5 seconds back, or at least Luca is, of race leader Corbin McCauley. And again, all three of those guys have made their pit stops now. We got a yellow in sector 2. Looks like that would be, guessing that's Roman Furchi, who may have had another off. As Dan Mattiello picks up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane himself. Meanwhile, it looks like Luca briefly got himself out of the DRS range of Mason Hope, who's just picked up yet another 3-second time penalty. So, that gap just getting wider and wider here, as Pope now has 9 seconds of penalties to serve compared to 3 seconds for both McCauley and Luca ahead of him. And that 9 seconds, that actually brings Ty Higginbotham into play for that final podium position, as Higginbotham is 8.3 back as we got a yellow in sector 1. Not sure who that will be, but it looks like it's cleared itself up at least for now. But yeah, Ty Higginbotham, he is looking at yet another podium here tonight, which would be a nice little double for that Atlantic Motorsports everything. As we've just crossed the halfway points, as Corbin McCauley posts the fastest lap of the race. 1 minute 20.705 for time. 9.5 seconds clear of Colby Luca for the lead. And both of those guys with 3-second time penalties. Mason Pope with 9 seconds of penalties on the track in third. But again, right now, if the race was to end, it would be Ty Higginbotham claiming P3. As he's kept it relatively clean here so far as he and laps the car.
And Ty Higginbotham just defied all physics by going inside of the car.
Yeah, I mean, there's something to be said for that, certainly. continues his way through this lap. And yeah, that gap's right around that 9-second threshold. So he's going to have to find some speed here, I think, to ultimately hang on to third place. And I think the biggest thing is he'll have to keep it clean from here on, which seems like it's been a real struggle for him on the hards at this point. Bring it back up to race leader Corbin McCauley, whose lead has just gone back up into the double digits for an interval. We got a yellow in sector 2. It looks like that's a DNF for Furchie, and that is a safety car. And that is the absolute last thing Corbin McCauley wanted. And it seemed like this race was fully in the control of the number 71. Instead, it's the other Red Dirt Racing car who winds up with the DNF, and we got ourselves 3 laps of safety car action, I would say, here.
Well, this is definitely going to become a battle, though. If no one's going to bother to make a pit stop right now, then you would say in the current state of everyone right now, then McCauley would have the better tires versus everyone else. But at the same time, though, this could be the opportunity for some drivers to possibly maybe go in the medium tire compounds to see if they'll be able to get a bit of a better advantage in the first couple of laps whenever we get this restarted. Have to wait and see, though. The hard tire compound has been the recommended one, although that was on the last pit window. But again, we just have to wait and see. I am very much personally keeping an eye on E-Motorsports after their great success earlier tonight in Austria, as we've mentioned many times already. So, yeah, there could be many different headlines that could possibly happen here for sure.
And now we see Colby Luca very much coming into pit lane. Did Corbin McCauley? No, he stayed out. So he's clearly happy with how things are progressing. Let's see what Luca opts for tire-wise. That sure looks like a yellow stripe, and it is. So he has gone back to the medium, as you suspected he might. And Ty Higginbotham also headed into pit lane to get another set of boots here, so to speak. And also opting for the medium. As it looks like the majority of the field has done so, as we look at the tire detail here now. Darcy Ford doing the same in 5th place, as he goes ahead and rejoins the track. So certainly it'll be a tire advantage for drivers 3rd and down. So Luca, Higginbotham, Ford, especially once the field's bunched back up here, which should happen within the next lap or so, I would think. We're kind of playing catch up in terms of the line right about now. So yeah, based on how we've seen other safety cars go, I would say lap 23, this one will come in. Especially given the fact that, as you can see, there's still quite a ways for the rest of the field to go in order to catch up. So again, it'll be McCauley leading off the line, albeit on the hard tires, though relatively new. Still potentially a problem, although McCauley has come in. Maybe playing a little bit of defense now. And so, well, Hope also comes in. It said McCauley pitted, but there he is still on track.
No, it's just Mason Hope.
I thought both of them came in. Hope going to the soft. That is an interesting call.
I mean, for the type of driver he is, for how skilled he's, for the skills that he's proven so far, albeit some of the bad luck, he could definitely pull it off. But at the same time, though, that soft tire compound does not last very long. It's more really, more so like a qualifying compound. So it's Definitely a very risky decision, but at the same time, though, it could be pulled off. Maybe he's thinking another safety car might potentially happen here, considering how close everyone is now. And I swear, at how close everyone gets under a safety car, it always left me worried if someone's going to hit someone. I've experienced that myself playing the game, so there's probably a bit of PTSD coming through right there. I'm looking from Macaulay's perspective right now in the rearview mirror, and every single time a car gets up close, I'm just like,
Yeah, and the other thing to keep in mind, with the field bunched up, the man we're following right now, Ty Higginbotham, he's going to cross the line as the net leader because of the 3-second time penalties to both Macaulay and Luca ahead.
sure.
And again, probably looking at one more lap under the safety car here as we come up toward the end of lap 22. Oh, safety car in this lap. Okay.
In this lap, okay, yeah, I was going to say there at the end of it, Ty Higginbotham, this would definitely be the perfect ending to a great night for E-Motorsports. Maybe he'll be able to take advantage here. As we will get back to the green flag.
Well, let's find out here as Macaulay tries to bunch the field up. We're across the line and we're back to racing here now on lap 23. Macaulay gets a good jump off the line. Higginbotham moves up into second straight away. And looks like he'll hold on to the position. Darcy Cudmore, meanwhile, picking up a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. But again, it looks like Macaulay's been able to hold on and Luca's got second place back. So I wonder if Higginbotham maybe ran a little deep as Pope picks up yet another 3-second time penalty.
Yeah, the decision for the small tire, or the soft tire. Why do I make that mistake? The soft tire compound. Yeah, it didn't go in his favor. It looks like it hasn't, and watching in the second sector.
Yeah, it's a black dot, so I think it may be Dan Mattiello. As I try to watch the feed, it looks like it's someone toward the back, certainly. But it looks like it's all sorted itself out.
Higginbottom looks to still be right there in the gap, about 2.5 seconds behind both Macaulay and Lucas. So it's right now it's looking like a close one, but again though, Macaulay, as long as Macaulay is able to pull out some form of a gap here on the, which again he's on the hard, so it's probably going to be a close call here because again Luca and Higginbottom, they're on the medium compound, so we'll just have to see here if Macaulay will be able to get lucky here on the different compound there.
And again, it's not like it was a super old compound either. Like this is 7 laps on it. 2 or 3 of those now under the safety car, so you can safely, save a little bit of tread there.
Exactly.
Just a matter of, keeping the figurative heat in the hard compound. As Luca's flirting dangerously with that 1 second threshold that once we hit lap 25 would allow for DRS to kick back in as we see another yellow in sector 2. But that car is moving again, so... Well, I say that, we've got a 519 off. That's Jason Butler out, and that's another safety car. Oh, that's what happened.
All their cars back, and what in the world?
So that looked like a nose straight into the pit wall barrier. I can't say if that was Butler or not. I don't think it was, because he was a couple corners away from pit lane. But now, this might give Macaulay that opportunity that he missed out on last time. But will he sacrifice the track position to make the stop? As Mike Greathouse goes in for the soft, and that's what I'd be wondering if Macaulay would be doing this time around, particularly since you're looking at about a 7 or 8 lap stint. But again, we'll find out in a couple laps time. As again, I didn't quite get well, obviously we didn't get a visual on what happened to Jason Butler toward the end of that lap. But obviously not the way he wanted the night to end. As the field, I guess the benefit of having it that quickly, the field remains relatively bunched up.
I mean, yeah, once again, bunch back up. Again, this will give opportunities, again, to Colby Luca and Ty Higginbottom, but at the same time, though, McCauley got a pretty good start on the last restart. You were saying there again with Jason Butler. We still haven't gotten any full, clear details about Austria, so we'll have to get that eventually soon. But yeah, before the races tonight, Butler was 5th in the standings, fell a couple, 1 or 2 spots there after, I believe it was Canada or something like that, and he unfortunately only finished 14th in the British Grand Prix, so it's just been very on and off for him. There's 1 week where he finishes 5th, another one 9th and 4th, then gets the podium, and then now it's been like 2 or 3 races where, did something, okay.
It disconnected on me again, so we're back to that mode. We were actually going good there for a little bit, though.
I mean, that's something.
Yeah, something is a good description, yes. As we will try and go ahead and rejoin. Let's see, I've got some details from one Jason Butler here as to what transpired. And so, yeah, what happened was it seemed like he may have gotten gorked here in a sense, as a quote, ghosted car cut him off and like completely blinded him is what I'm being told.
Well, that ain't the most luckiest thing ever.
No, and I mean, as much as I would love to read the follow-up to that out loud, I can't do it without laughing, so we're not going to.
I don't blame you.
I mean, for some of the crazy things that have been said over the years, like, it wouldn't be that bad, but, like, knowing me, I wouldn't be able to do it without laughing, so we'll just keep things as they are right now, as we should be able to get our regular view back. There it is. Hopefully it'll last another 9 laps.
As long as it doesn't disconnect going into the final corner of the field.
Oh, don't say that. Although I did see as I was switching inputs that the safety car is in now, so once again, Corbin McCauley in control of the field. Trying to bunch everybody up. Colby Luca trying to find a way past. And again, it doesn't look like McCauley came in. So let's just see. Yeah, McCauley's still on that hard tire, but Luca trying to get him on the outside. Luca much closer this time around, but McCauley's going to have that inside line.
Oh, the crossover if they'll come through here?
Indeed it does, as Luca takes the lead on track. But right now, as it stands, Darcy Ford is the net race leader after this restart. And yeah, this might be where the hards kind of got cooked on Corbin McCauley a little bit, or it didn't work out nearly as well.
I was kind of afraid that was going to happen. I was surprised on the restart before this one that he was able to get a good start, but yeah, this time around it looks like it's going to go against him, and that penalty right there that time penalty is definitely going to kick him back a couple spots now. Yeah, there's the maneuver right there. Darcy Ford now into second place as McCauley looks to have gone wide.
Oh, contact! Ford! McCauley hit him, I think. You saw Ford going sideways. McCauley's out. Ford somehow staying in this one as he definitely got turned right in front of us. And yeah, there's Macaulay taking full fault here. Lap 28 though, we keep racing. And Colby Luca, he is the leader and officially the leader by 5/1000ths of a second as he's cleared that 3-second threshold on Ty Higginbotham. Although it may appear to not be without some controversy from what I'm seeing.
Is it a crossover after the first corner there have to do with that, or what's the context?
I don't know if maybe there was a move in place that kind of triggered a chain reaction, so to speak, that led to the Macaulay and Ford collision, because that message came in right after the apology to Darcy Ford, as we got a yellow in Sector 2. And again, Colby Luca leading this one overall now, as we're about to go to lap number 29 out of 35, so 7 to go in this one. Gap on track, 3.4 seconds. Luca, again, notably with the 3-second time penalty. Ty Higginbotham looking to claw that back just a half a second, really. That's all he needs. Meanwhile, a little further down the field, seems like a decent battle brewing between Mason Pope and Dan Cudmore. Although that's merely on track. Pope has 15 seconds of time penalties to account for.
Oh, why?
So, yeah, that will put him down in 9th overall. As Darcy Ford tries to battle back here, although a ghosted version. And again, not entirely sure what's gone on here other than pure unadulterated chaos after these last couple laps off of the restart. As we'll check in on Michael Dimitrov, I think this might be the first time we're looking in on him tonight. He's in a very quiet 3rd place after all this dust starts to settle. And speaking of dust, it looks like he kicked up a little bit out of that final corner as he begins lap number 30. So 6 laps remaining in the back half of our double feature.
And it's still kind of a tight gap up there. Colby Luca, of course, with the leading with a 3-second penalty. Ty Higginbotham trying his hardest to try and stay in that gap. It's about just averaging just under 3.5 seconds right there. So it's probably it's going to be a close one as we get into these final couple laps. I mean, they're both on the medium tire compound, so
I would imagine they pitted right around the same time. Yeah, tires are the same age, so basically straight up between those two. As again, we're still with Dimitrov, who's trying to get onto the back of Ty Higginbotham here for 2nd. So that might be a little bit more of a concern for the number 97 Atlantic Motorsports outfit there, as he's got his mirrors full of orange now. To the point where he would think that he might be driving at Zandvoort instead, but that is very much not the case. As they come to the line, that rear wing is not going to open up actually, as that gap went over a second right at the DRS detection. So maybe a little mistake from Dimitrov there right in the final couple corners. But he should have it now for... Oh, what happened to Higginbotham? Oh, no, there he is. Just a little game glitch here, it would appear. Meanwhile, I think something may have happened to Colby Luca as well, as that time has gotten sliced down here to 2.1 seconds between Luca and Higginbotham. I think. Because that one's showing a minus, and the rest are showing plus. So something's not quite right here. Although Darcy Ford looking to make things right, getting past Mason Pope. Go ahead.
I mean, from Colby Luca's perspective, it's about three. It's still sticking at the same stuff, about 3.5 seconds behind. So can't really say what's going on right now. I really.
Well, let's
I don't know
just
what to
see.
say.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I
no,
must have. I think
yeah.
I may have switched the gap here at some point. We're back to gap to the leader, and yeah, you are correct. 3.5 seconds still the difference between Luca and Higginbotham, as we're down to 4 laps remaining now. And now Dimitrov is trying to get to the back of Higginbotham still, as we got a yellow in sector 1. That's Higginbotham, who's run wide actually. So that's not the way he wanted things to go, as he's fallen down to 4th. Yeah, maybe back to 3rd. Everything is happening. And for Michael Dimitrov, suddenly, he's 1.1 seconds away from, within touching distance of a potential race victory here. If he can find some speed over the last, again, 3 to 4 laps here.
I can point out some context from a bit of the fiasco we saw there from earlier involving Macaulay. It does appear that coming to the green under the safety car in that final corner, there was some contact coming down to the green flag. So, yeah, based on the proof I've seen here, it's not surprising that there's a bit of controversy, and it wouldn't either be surprising too if maybe some certain conversations that might happen come post-race.
Well, we're not too far away from finding that out. Really, now as we're on to lap 33. So 3 laps to go in this one. And there you see the gap on track. It's about 4.5 seconds between Luca and Dimitrov. And again, things have kind of spread themselves out throughout our remaining drivers, as we've got a few who are at least 1 lap down. And then, yeah, not really a whole lot in the way of battles here as Dimitrov spins. And that may just hand Colby Luca the race on a silver platter here. As that gap, as Higginbotham moves back up to 2nd, that gap at the head of the field is suddenly 9.7 seconds. So, given that it's only 3 seconds of time penalties, a whole lot more breathing room there for the number 53 of Colby Luca. Meanwhile, yellow in sector 1. This might be the best battle on the track we're seeing here now, though, and that'll be between the 2 Atlantic Motorsports guys battling for 2nd and 3rd. Higginbotham's 2nd, Ford's 3rd. Ford will have DRS down the straight, though. But Higginbotham holds position here. And looks like he'll do the same in this shorter DRS zone as well. So, realistically for Darcy Ford, if he wants 2nd, he'll either need Higginbotham to make a mistake or to get the job done under DRS conditions on the final lap. As we got a yellow in sector 1. It's sectors 1 and 2. And so it looks like it's Mason Pope who may have had a bit of a moment. And yeah, there he is. He's backwards. Not the way you want that to go, as Pope gets himself back on track. Hasn't really had the grip all night, as we see it again.
Tires are they're just too warm now.
Yeah, no, it's a bit of a baffling issue there for Pope, but looks like he'll hold on to 8th at least, even with all the time penalties, as Greathouse has some penalties behind him there as well in 9th, as Colby Luca's on his final lap now. And again, a yellow in sector 2. I'm gonna guess that's probably Pope once again. Just kind of crawling around at this point. We'll get on board with the number 53 as he makes his way through Sector 2 for the final time. And again, he's looking like he's got things under control as he comes into the final chicane. And back into the final section of the lap it would appear. Down and off of this straight. So, as he comes through the final couple corners, we're just going to kind of take it in with the Aries Racing driver. As I believe for the first time this year, it will be Colby Luca picking up the victory here. And it is checkered flag time. And there is the W for the 53. Meanwhile, Ty Higginbotham coming around. He's going to hold on to second place. Darcy Ford will complete the podium. So, overall margin of victory here for Colby Luca is 7.14 seconds. Although, again, it would appear not without a little bit of consternation off of that final restart.
Well, yes, that is right there. First victory, of course, of the season for Colby Luca after just kind of a roller coaster of the season himself as well. Like going from 6th to 2nd, 12th, 12th, 4th. Just all over. It's been all over the place for him, especially with even some good qualifying results. But now he is officially a winner this season, and it may come at a bit of controversy with maybe a couple people, but at the same time, although it's officially done. So,
in saying that, though, to provide a little bit of context, there's a message from the race winner himself. Seems like, in his view, it would appear that either Macaulay or Ford were actually ghosted whenever that went down, perhaps on account of a bit of lag. But again, not 100% sure on that, but we will, of course, give the benefit of the doubt wherever we possibly can. As we will find, once again, Andy Hurdle as driver of the day. So, super drives there, Mr. Andy Hurdle. As again, we'll take it to the podium celebration, and for the first time this season anyway, it'll be an Aries Racing driver, and rather adamantly so. Is he racing under the Qatar flag? Is that what I'm seeing? No, might not have won a World Cup, but certainly won a race in this league. I'm sure they count for the same. Again, we'll get just the tail end of the podium celebrations here. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that is the Qatar flag we're under now, and thankfully, Riggs, we've got this double feature finished up.
Yes, and I have definitely lost a bunch of valuable sleep, but at the same time, though, we were able to get the job done. It is what it is. It's out of our it's mostly out of our control, and overall, we were able to have a pretty eventful night for sure.
No kidding.
EA was definitely handing us a bunch of unlucky moments and just good old EA moments and all that, but. Yeah, again, just a very eventful night. Lots of chaos. That's definitely a term to use. A lot of drivers, there'd be some good luck, there'd be some bad luck. There were lots of maneuvers. Safety cars were absolutely rampant in both races. We had an interesting rain ending there in Austria. Hungary was just kind of, Macaulay was there, but then some stuff happened towards the end that just the bad luck continues for him. So. But again, Atlantic Motorsports comes out on top there in Austria. In Hungary, it happens to be Colby Luca getting the victory, albeit maybe in a little bit controversial form. But
seems like that might be cleared up a bit, though, on the
maybe yes,
back end.
For sure, maybe. But again, though, it's his first first victory of the season. So once again, just an eventful night. I think it doesn't really get any better than that in some ways.
Yeah, and congratulations to Colby Luca as well on the victory. It should be pointed out, obviously. And I don't know about you, Riggs, but like after a double feature like this, I think we need to relax a little bit. And so, what better place to go next week than Spa? As that's where we're headed for round number 8. That'll be the Belgian Grand Prix. That'll be next Tuesday. Back to our regular time slot, regular qualifying format. 5:30 p.m. Mountain Time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. I had to forget that, I'm the only one in Mountain in this equation. But anyway, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on the Canadian E-Motorsports Network YouTube channel, where hopefully we'll be able to make lemonade out of lemons again. And you can see my mind is just gone right now. So it might just be time to kind of cut her off for now. So for the entire Canadian E-Motorsports Network team, series founder Dan Cudmore, color commentator Regan McCauley, I'm Jordy Carraher. We hope you've enjoyed what we were attempting to put out here after a week away. And hopefully we will be back up and running somewhere closer to full steam next week at Spa. So we will see you later.